Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The feature race at Keeneland on Friday is the Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile. Our stakes coverage is presented by DRF Bets. If you sign up for a new account, you receive a $150 bonus. Very easy. DRF.com/join is where you need to go. The promo code is TV150. Let's take a look at these salty turf horses getting set to go a flat mile at Keeneland for $300,000. And of course, it's a Grade 1 race. The number 6 is Heart to Heart. He's a millionaire. He finally got that overdue Grade 1 win last time out in the Gulfstream turf. And you could make the argument, Matt, that it was a distance a little bit far for him.
Yeah, I think the reason that he was able to get that distance, that mile and an eighth, is because of those fractions. You see the half mile he got in 47 and 3, which normally for this horse, he's accustomed to going much quicker early on because he gets out to the front there and he sets a legitimate pace. I think that's the only reason he got the 9 furlongs. This trip on Friday afternoon, this is what he wants. He's a flat miler. He's one of the best milers that we have here in the country. The question always about this horse is, can he get to the front? Because if he can't get to the front, he's in trouble. If he gets to the front, he's an absolute bear.
Beat High Happy last time out. That horse came back to win the Grade 2 Pan American with a 105 Beyer speed figure. Timeform US believes that Heart to Heart will get the lead. There's a question in our minds as to how easy this lead is going to be because the number 9 Ohm is getting a key rider switch. 2 starts back, Flavien Prat rode Ohm and just said, listen, I know Ohm. Ohm's on a long losing streak. I'm just going for it out of the gate and uses this horse's natural speed and opened up a giant lead, rated the horse very well in the middle portion, and Ohm showed heart and guts in the stretch to win. Last time out, Mike Smith took the mount. He conceded the lead a little bit in a race where What a View was battling it out with him, and they both paid the price. I don't think Ohm ran badly in the Kilrow considering the fast pace. The question is, how aggressive will Pratt be? Is he going for it and forcing Heart to Heart to take a seat? Because as you said, when Heart to Heart takes a seat, he's a different horse.
Yeah, I mean, Ohm is the key to this race because if he has ridden the way that he's been ridden, even in each of the past 2, like you said, the Kilrow, he didn't run poorly considering the pace, but if you allow him to clear off the way that he did in that Thunder Road, Ohm all of a sudden turns into a different horse based on what he did in that start 2 back. If they are content with that outside draw to sit off of Heart to Heart, everybody is probably going to pay the price for it, and Heart to Heart's probably going to be in the winner's circle. I think Flavien Prat has no choice but to be aggressive here. I think you hope you don't get into a pitched battle like you had in the Kilrow, but I think that's the only way this horse can win.
If there is a hot pace up front, the horse that could take direct advantage, according to Timeform US, is Balarax, the number 2, who really didn't have an easy trip at all in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He was last on the rail going into the first turn, in and among horses on the final turn, in behind horses turning into the stretch, and then he had to rally into some minor traffic. He ran well over this course, 2 starts back in the Shadwell Turf Mile, but he's just getting started back for Bill Mott. Do you think he'll be sharp enough off the layoff?
Not only is he coming off the layoff, but he's catching a pretty good group of horses, so he's going to have to be at arguably his best if he's going to win here. I agree. That Breeders' Cup Mile draw line through it, it did not work. He had plenty of pace to run at, but he had nowhere to run. I think it's interesting that we move over to Luis Saez. Saez has ridden this horse in the past, but usually Jose Lezcano has the mount. I don't know if you're going to get his best off the bench, and that's a tough thing because I think he's going to need every bit of his best if he's going to win here.
The Mott trainee with recency is the number 3 Forge, who ran Champion World Approval to a half length in the Grade 3 Tampa Bay Stakes 2 starts back, both horses' seasonal debut. Forge regressed badly last time out in the Muniz. Was it simply a situation where maybe he was too close to the pace and he kind of needs to be covered up and make one run?
It's kind of the way it sounds. You hear some of the connections talk about this horse needing cover. He was 3 wide in the clear throughout, so perhaps that's the excuse. I thought it was still a really poor effort, especially when you hear some of the jockeys from the fairgrounds talk about how in the days leading up to the Muniz, you needed to be forwardly placed on the turf course, and this horse was just that. He just had nothing down the lane. I suppose he could rebound, but I would need to make sure. I would want even more than the 8-1 that he is on the morning line.
We talked about how Ohm and What a View threw it down early in the Kilrow, setting it up for closers like Bowie's Hero and Channel Maker, and also the number 8 Next Chairs, who was probably forced to go about 6 wide turning into the stretch, and he finished with an even kick. It was his best Beyer speed figure by far. His numbers have been going the right way ever since being shipped to Southern California. I guess a fast pace works to his advantage.
Yeah, it certainly does. You know what, my big kind of hang up with Next Shares is he comes back to the East Coast and we knew next shares on the East Coast. Did he turn into the new next shares because he was in California, or is he just a totally different animal ever since Richard Baltas has gotten him? I'm going to side against him in a race like this, even if they do go fast. I wonder if, you know what, California cooking just seems to be a little bit better for him than the East Coast.
The cool 9-year-old Hogi, what a claim for Michael Maker.
Yeah.
He claimed him for 80 in 2017, immediately won the Kentucky Downs Turf Sprint. He's been a turf sprinter for most of his career. Maker found the right spot last time out, though, to stretch him out. That was the Grade 3 Canadian Turf, a race that seemed to feature a fast pace, and Arad Ortiz just gave Hogi a great ride. He saved ground every step of the way. He angled out 3 wide, turning into the stretch, and Hogi saw out the mile. He's going to get another fast pace. It's better horses, and he may not get the same kind of candy trip.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got a beautiful trip in there. He got a very, very good ride. You bring up the pace scenario. Timeform US has the first and second fractions in that race as 183s. I think they're going to go fast in this race. I don't know if 183 fast they're going to go.
Keep an eye on the number 5, Frostmorn. You and I were big fans of this horse as a 3-year-old. He went away for the winter. Christophe Clement brought him back in a nice optional claimer, his first start against older horses on March the 16th. And he got a great ride by Irad. He was basically able to sit in the pocket. He eased to the 2-path, and he ran down the pace setter. But he overcame a very slow pace off the layoff. This horse has all the upside in the world. He's kind of scary at a price.
Yeah, you know, I was torn. I picked him second. I really like him. I think he's got a big chance in here, particularly that tactical speed. He can be a little bit closer, and that could be key in this race. If you think Heart to Heart and Ohm hook up, he could sit the pocket. I thought that return effort was very good. Conquest Enforcer, I think people are probably looking at him and hearing the name saying, we know what he is. He likes to lose races. When you let him get out there and dictate things, he can be kind of a handful. And the fact that Frostmorn just basically ran around him, I thought it was a visually very impressive effort. I'm expecting a good effort out of him.
Nice to see Roger Atfield's gotten Tower of Texas back into form. He's hit the board in his last 4 races, did surprisingly well on dirt in the Howell's Hope last time out. But his last 2 wins have come on soft and yielding ground. I guess we upgrade his chances if it's wet. I've always kind of thought he was a notch just below these horses. In the Colonel Bradley, there wasn't much pace for him to run at. He won, but against weaker.
I have to be honest, I kind of wanted him to run in that Gulfstream Park mile on the dirt. I thought he ran just fine in the Howell's Hope. A little bit late with the lead change, but it was a situation where if there was more pace that day, I think he would have threatened to win that race. Now they bypass that. They come to this spot. Turf is what he's done his entire career. I like him. I think he's a cool horse. If there's pace, he'll come with a run. I kind of agree with you, though. I feel like he does his best running up at Woodbine, and he's probably just a notch below these.
Dale Roman's taking a shot with Nihilator. This horse couldn't kick down Frostmorn last time out when he was up close to Conquest Enforcer's pace. He has the rail. He has speed. I just don't think he has Heart to Heart or Ohm speed.
Agreed, and I just don't think he's got the class necessary.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile. I'm a big fan of your top pick, the number 7, Mr. Misunderstood. I liked both of his starts this year. I thought in the Fairgrounds handicap, he got blind switched a bit entering the turn. He had to alter course 5 wide, ended up bumping with the winner, the Sharp Synchrony, and all doing so at a distance that might be a little bit far for him at 1 1/8. And last time out in the Muniz, you were perfectly fine with his effort as well. He's just a little slow on figs.
Yeah, and that's really the knock with this horse. He's very consistent. He's going to come with his run. The question is, do you think that sort of mid-90 range that he's been living in, do you think that's fast enough? I like that he's paired up the 95s in his first 2 starts as a 4-year-old, and if you think he moves forward into that high 90, low 100 range, he can win this race. I agree with you about getting back to a mile. He's 4 for 4 at the distance. I thought in the Muniz he got shuffled at the top of the lane. He was in behind horses. Flo had to wait a little bit before he could get him into the clear, and then he actually did come on a little bit at the end. That run 2 starts back, I agree with you. I'm not holding that against him. He got the switch. And I also happen to think Synchrony's a very nice horse from Mike Stidham. If he can sit the trip, and again, I was very torn between Mr. Misunderstood and Frostmorn. I think they're going to be very similar as far as their positions are concerned. And at that point, I'm going to hope that the bottom that Mr. Misunderstood has in the class, maybe that prevails and kind of gets him through this spot here.
I think Julien Leparoux has to take advantage of the fact that Heart to Heart is inside of Ohm and he has to go. Heart to Heart is a better horse when he's on the lead than when he is stalking. Leparoux has ridden him many times. He knows that. He isn't going to go breakneck if Ohm decides to go breakneck, and that will hurt Heart to Heart's chances. But I think he's the best horse, and if he does have the lead after the first half mile, he'll be very tough to catch. I'm going 6, 8, 2, and 10. It's really a cool race as Mr. Misunderstood goes for win number 10, Hogi goes for win number 20, and Heart to Heart, I believe, goes for win number 15. It's truly a good grade 1 at Keeneland on Friday, and you can bet it with DRF Bets. Sign up, get your $150 bonus. It's very, very easy. drf.com/join is where you need to go. The promo code is TV150. Post time for the Maker's 46 Mile. Nice grade 1 on Friday at Keeneland, 5:30 Eastern. Best of luck.